What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 46 of Hit the Books, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of sports and sports gambling. Each week, we break down the latest news and trends, provide analysis, and offer up our best bets and betting advice. So let's jump into this episode of Hit the Books. On this week's episode, we continue through our summer as we are on the MLB All Star Break currently, so we can catch up on all things happening in the offseason of the NHL, NFL, and NBA. Jesus. We are just 57 days away from the kickoff of the NFL season. I know the boys are super excited about that one. Mackie talking in our group message about it, just lighting us up. Very excited about it. Lots of ideas in the works for us this fall that we're really excited to share with you guys when the time is right. So let's move into this week's episode and introduce my co-hosts that join me each and every week, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Huff, let's start off with you this week, buddy. What do you got for us?
Yeah, not much going on with me. Fresh off the MLB All Star Break. I guess we're still on break till Friday, but a nice home run derby Monday night, All Star Game last night. A little break from sports as we get into the second half of the MLB season. But other than that, not much going on with me. I'm excited to be back and talk some sports, get and recap this All Star week we had this past week.
Let's do it. Episode 46. Ace, over to you next. You're over at your uncle's house. You're watching the dogs. What do you got for us?
Yeah, like Huff was saying, though, we're in the home stretch of the summer right here. This is truly the dog days. I mean, literally no top four sports for a few days, unless you're counting the summer league for the NBA. So definitely looking forward to get the MLB back underway, but ready to talk some more sports this week. Got some good offseason news as well.
Good stuff, Ace. Good to hear from you here another week. Mackie, let's finish it off with you before we jump into this week's episode. What do you got for us?
Yeah, not much going on. Basically what they said, we're really just rounding second base here in these dog days, just trying to get into football season. I know this quarterback documentary is really getting me fired up, and I can't even really watch it because it's getting me so fired up. But no, I think we got 56 days until September 7th, opening day. So getting excited for that. That's about it.
Training camp starting next week?
I don't know. That's a tease anyway.
Good stuff, boys. I'm really excited to jump into this week's episode. I think we're going to start off with a top four segment. Your favorite athlete from each of the four major sports currently. Who wants to start us off here this week?
I can get it going. I mean, I brought this topic up. I thought it'd be pretty cool one to see, especially a lot of people have different players in today's sporting world, But I'll get right into mine. So starting off, I'll go with the NHL, big hockey guy, obviously. So I'll go with David Pastrnak. That's my one homer pick on the card here. I mean, how do you not love Pasta? Guy's elite. Then for baseball, I went with Mookie Betts, former Red Sox, but he's been electric his whole career, all the championships, and just narrowly edging out Shohei Ohtani. Coming for the NFL, I went with Justin Jefferson. I mean, I think he's the most electric receiver in the NFL. He's my number one. You heard that a few weeks ago. I like Patrick Mahomes a lot, but Justin Jefferson, he's going to be good for a while. And you see him hitting the gritty. That's awesome. And then finally, I'm going to end it off with Steph Curry. I don't even need to explain that. Best basketball player in the world, most fun to watch, changed the game. So, yeah, gotta love Curry.
I did not expect that Justin Jefferson pick. That's definitely a good one to slide in there.
I thought about him.
Yeah.
I definitely thought about him, but
he's probably like my favorite player to watch. Literally, like it was Mahomes for a bit, but since I'm like more of a Brady guy, like I'll watch the sicker.
Most electric, gritty in the league as well.
He put everybody on. I feel like.
Yeah. I'd say so, and it's guaranteed every touchdown. He's not doing anything else.
Yeah, you'll see it twice a game. Every week.
Good stuff, boys. Who wants to go next?
Jesse, you go.
All right. For my list, I'm going to start off with the NHL. My first one's Marc-Andre Fleury. Always been my boy since he got drafted by the Pens. I got a bunch of pictures from him or with him and signed and junk and jerseys and whatnot. NBA. This one's a tough one for me because I'm definitely a very casual NBA fan. So I thought Jokic would be a good one because funny dude, even though he doesn't try to be. I love the shit with his horses. Like that just cracks me up. Like every time it just makes me die. NFL, another one hard to say because like none of the current Steelers players are like, I love them to death. But
that's
like,
how I feel with the Pats.
Right. So like my thought was, who do I care to follow and junk like that? So like Saquon's been a guy that I've definitely kept an eye on. Penn State alum. I consider him an underrated player. Like, he started his career real low, in my opinion. Now he's making a total comeback. So I like it a lot. MLB, Garrett Cole, great dude, former Pirate, sat in front of me at the Pens game one time, got on TV with him. He's a good dude. He's funny as hell. Told a lot of good stories and junk. So we sent him some bio-frees, stuff like that. So that's my list.
That's a great pick. Garrett Cole's a great pick.
I like Garrett Cole. I like Garrett Cole. Rafael Devers, those two.
Yeah, all right. So my 1-1 is going to be my NHL representative. You all guessed it before. 3 Stanley Cups, all the awards. Sidney Crosby is going to be that 1-1 for me. My entire youth, reason I started playing hockey was him. Watching the success, all the cup runs, 08, 09, and then the back-to-back in 16 and 17. Hell of a hockey player, obviously, for a good reason. My number 1. Number 2, I'm going to slide LeBron James in here at number 2 for all the same reasons as Crosby. Watching him win my entire life. He's there at the end of the season every single year. All those years in the finals, 4 rings or whatever LeBron's at now. 4, 2 with Miami, 1 with Cleveland, 1 with LA. 4 rings, looking for number 5. So LeBron's number 2 for me. Number 3, I want to slide one of my Steelers in here. I will put I wanted to go a Steeler here and put TJ Watt or Kenny, one of these guys, but I'll go with a guy that I've rooted for the past 10 years and didn't have the best year last year. I'm going to let Russ cook here at number 3. Russell Wilson, number 3. I'm expecting a big year out of him this coming year. Tough division, tough team, new head coach. A lot of upside for him coming into this year. I'm going to stick with my boy Russ. Number 4, I'll go Ronald Acuna Jr. Same thing, not the biggest baseball fan, more of a casual fan. But when I'm tuning in, I want to watch the Stars play. Mackey's wearing the Braves hat right now. Acuna's a flashy player. I love to watch him. So definitely going to slide in there for me at that 4 spot.
Huff, I forgot about your boy Russ, man. I wasn't expecting that from you, but it makes sense.
No, Huff, it was minus 250 for Huff to pick Russ.
Now this boy TJ Watt there.
But nowadays when you hear Russell Wilson,
Russ,
you think of Russ, you just... That's right there for you.
He's figuring out the soundboard.
I think about the Super Bowl in year 2, and if they would have just fucking ran it up the middle, it would have been back-to-back Super Bowls, but, here and there.
You blame Pete Carroll for that. You don't blame Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you don't blame Russell Wilson for that.
No, you congratulate the GOAT, Tom Brady. That's what I think you do.
Who was standing on the sidelines like, holy shit, I had no business winning this game.
That's how I felt too. Running, jumping with his arms. I mean, if we did this list 1 year ago, my boy Tom Brady would be number 1. But now I guess he's just my favorite retired athlete of all time.
Yeah, if we did all time, my list would be completely different. I mean,
yeah, same here.
Sid would still be my hockey guy, but all my
definitely have to get that list rolling down the stretch here.
All right, Mackie, you want to finish us off with this segment?
Yeah, I'll get going. All right, so NHL, pretty self-explanatory. I go Shesterkin. He's been the backbone for this team in the past few years. He'll get his ring. He'll get there, but still early in his career. NBA, I'm going to go Steph Curry, most influential player of all time, in my opinion. Definitely changed the game for the better. 4 rings, 1 Finals MVP, should be 2. Pretty self-explanatory as well. NFL, I'm going to go Micah Parsons. Changed the entire Dallas defense, definitely. Pretty much a steal. I know he went pretty early. I think he went 11th overall, but we definitely stole him out of Penn State. Great linebacker in that Dallas defense. And then MLB, I'm going to go Tatis, but Tatis now. I didn't like him before the roids because he was already the favorite. He was already the favorite player, and I just didn't love him that much. But I feel like he flies under the radar nowadays, and he's still top 3 most athletic players in the MLB. Fun player to watch, and yeah, I'm hopping on that train. I know Ace has been on that train for a little while, but yeah, I'll go with Tatis for MLB.
Yeah, I wanted Tripper so bad about liking mids. That's why you like Tatis now. But no, we're gonna go.
What does that even mean?
You pick the Cowboys, the Mets, the Rangers. It's like
I didn't
mids.
even pick the Mets.
No, I'm just saying as your favorite team. So of course you're gonna like Tatis now. No, I'm just messing with you. That's a good pick. I wouldn't think of that, but he's one of the most electric players in the league.
I'm more of a Soto guy than Tatis, but I don't know.
I don't like Soto, man.
Tatis is the face of the Padres, or he was supposed to be the face of the MLB before that scandal.
The MLB doesn't like broadcasting him a lot because of his background. It's kind of his image nowadays, but he flies under the radar now, and he's definitely still one of the most influential players in the league, especially on that stacked Padres team. So I've really grown to like that guy.
Yeah, I for good reason. I'm not saying I don't like him. I've always that trio they have in San Diego, it makes no sense how they can't win 110 games in my opinion.
Especially how young Tatis is too. He's going to be doing that for a while, and then he rocks all the ice in those fresh Padres brown and yellow jerseys. I mean, iconic cover athlete for the MLB video game, I believe.
I think it was last year. Yeah.
You know what my favorite pick was of Mackey's was definitely Micah Parsons, though. I mean, obviously you guys know that that's my favorite team in the NFC East. I like the Cowboys. I fuck with them, and he's gonna win a deep way sooner or later.
Yeah, that's for sure. I agree. He's got to be up there with TJ and Miles to win it next year.
Yeah,
you guys remember last year?
His rookie year, dude. He was almost up there. I mean, he didn't really have a case because the seasons that TJ and I think Aaron Donald had, but I mean, dude, his sacks are up there. His influence is up there. Definitely a steal. I think we got him at 11. He should have been a top 3 pick in that draft.
He should have been. Yeah, he should have been at least top 5.
Yeah, Penn State alum. Shout out Jesse.
That was my long shot last year to take home Depoy. You guys remember that, Michael Parsons? I had him on the card a few times, hit sack overs. The guy's electric.
He's definitely turned that defense around. They didn't really have much going before that.
I love that he wears number 11.
Coming off the other end too. Who is that? Is that Lawrence?
We had Lawrence. I don't even know if we still have him now.
He's still there.
He had a good year last year too. Trayvon Diggs. It's not a bad defense coming along.
Who's the big dude you guys got in the middle that's pretty good?
Leighton Vander Esch?
No, I'm talking D-line middle.
I don't know.
Oh, is his name begin with an O?
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna know it until I see it.
Osa Ozigazawa or something.
I'm looking up the roster. Give me a second here. Dorrance Armstrong, that's the other dude I was thinking about. He's a nose tackle. That's pretty legit. Dallas, I mean, their defense is legit. And then when you have, like you said, DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons rushing off the edge, you're in pretty good shape.
I think Micah turned to full linebacker though.
Did he really?
Yeah, because he was switching. He obviously played D end a little, but he played linebacker a lot.
Oh, he's an OLB.
What?
You guys?
I think he said he wanted to focus on the linebacker position.
You guys have Dante Fowler.
It's Osa Odzigazawa that was like a top pick that they have starting. He's really good.
That's who I'm thinking of. They still have DeMarcus Lawrence.
What about that Stephon Gilmore addition to go alongside Trayvon Diggs?
He's aged a little, but yeah, definitely a good addition.
That'll help Trayvon Diggs so much.
And elite too. It kind of reminds me of Joe Hayden and Patrick Peterson in their ends of their careers, the way they're playing now. When they're matched up against a second receiver, they're locked down.
I just need to see Trayvon do more. I mean, he does. 2 years ago, obviously, he had 11 interceptions. It was crazy, but he's the type of player to jump a route and take that chance. So if he doesn't make the interception, he's probably getting beat deep, or he's getting beat for a big gain. So he's got to be a little more consistent. I'd rather less turnovers and more consistency than more turnovers and getting beat deep more often.
Dude, he's like a home run hitter who strikes out a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say if the Cowboys had a safety I'm gonna say like Quandre Diggs, he's a top safety in the NFL, I'd say, or one of them. You know what I mean? Minka, like all those guys are your top 5, and then I think there's that second echelon of like Diggs and those younger players. Dude, if Dallas had someone like that, where what's his name? Trayvon Diggs could truly play the way he wants to play and jump balls and go for interceptions, and he knows he has an elite safety covering him on the back end. Defense would be so scary. Just
an over-the-top safety blanket so he can take those chances. I like your Quadre Diggs pick. You know something that's crazy, Huff? I saw that. Do you see those NFL player executive coaches ratings that came out?
Did you see that about
Quadre Diggs was 14, even though
he got left off the top 10. Who was the one that tweeted it? They were like, I can guarantee you all players would put Quandre Diggs in their top 10. It was another corner. It was another corner. It was Darius Slay. I was like, dude,
rankings.
He has 14. He's the one that tweeted it. He was like, he has 14 interceptions in 3 years. Like, yeah, he's up there, at least in the top 10.
You and I were talking about this last night. NFL Twitter was all up in arms. Current and past players chirping back and forth because of these ratings that came out. But they were by players, coaches, and execs, so that almost as exact as you get.
Yeah, and who was the one? It was Sauce and Darrell Revis against Asante Samuel.
Yep, and then DJ Reed was chiming in, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a few other guys.
Yeah, I
Everyone's
saw
taking
Gardner
shots.
Johnson chime in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then did you see Darius Slay go, this is why we can't all work out together?
Yeah, literally. I mean, you see tight end university, those guys love each other. It's like a brotherhood. Then the DBs are killing each other online because they just want to be the best so badly. But that's
I was gonna say they can't even withstand being second on their team, let alone
potentially the toughest position to play in the NFL nowadays, though. And the
especially with how
longevity
skilled these receivers are.
and the rules against them, but the longevity of their like prime is so short nowadays, I feel.
It's like 3 years.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but that's a good, some good intro NFL talk off
I was gonna
Mackey's
say, we
Cowboys
totally
list.
just like gave our Cowboys insight for the year right there.
Go Cowboys.
One
right,
side of
Mackie?
only one side of the
boys.
ball.
We'll be in Dallas this year, official.
Oh,
now.
we're just fine on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, you got Cooper Rush still backing him up just in case, like week 2.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I hope Dak's healthy week 4. If we go there to watch fucking Cooper Rush or Mac Jones, I might refund my ticket.
All I know
That'd
is
be
I'm
brutal.
hyped. I'm hyped that I get to play the Cowboys team that still has Mike McCarthy at the helm.
Yeah, that
Give me Bill Belichick over Mike McCarthy. They saw each other like a year or two ago when the Patriots were a lot worse, and the Cowboys squeaked out a win. If you remember that one.
That game that we're going to, that Patriots-Cowboys game, that has one possession game written all over it, in my opinion.
I
Just
see
low
blowout.
scoring, suffocating.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's Mackie. I said the same thing. I think Dallas will either kill him or it's gonna be a total close game, and Belichick will keep it close.
We got to feel out the first few weeks. I don't know. We got to see how
Yeah,
Dak's playing. He's a lot better at
The
home than he is
defenses are
at
going to
road.
be lights out for both teams.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just
Yeah,
eager to
the-
see how the Cowboys fare in a slugfest without their heavy hitter and Ezekiel Elliott.
I was literally thinking about this last night. I'm like, fuck. I'm going to a Cowboys game, and Dalton Schultz isn't a fucking Cowboy anymore. So who am I going to bet for his touchdown? And I'm like, who's the Cowboys tight end now? And then I'm like, it looks like Jake Ferguson's going to be getting a little sniff on the first touchdown.
No, you got to go with the Patriots defense or
Yeah,
special teams.
Dak trusts his tight end, so Ferguson will
Dude,
fit right in.
it's all he throws to at the goal line is his tight ends. He's made me
Yeah,
so much
he
money
loves
doing
his
it.
tight end, especially a guy like
Pollard's-
Jake Ferguson who's going to go unnoticed.
Pollard's gonna get a lot more attention now. But like I said, Mackie, do you think about that yet? Without Ezekiel Elliott, you're in a grimy type football game, old classic football game, because we see those break out often still nowadays. How do you think they fare in a game where they got to stay on the ground?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to feel out the first few weeks. I know we have a pretty tough schedule coming into the season. You got drafted that guy Deuce Vaughn, who I'm not too fond of, but it's definitely an extra guy you have in the backfield if you need Tony Pollard to take some reps or take some rest. But I trust Tony Pollard. I wasn't a big fan of Zeke leaving, them getting rid of him. But, at that point, you really don't have another choice. So got to roll with Tony Pollard, see what he can do. I mean, he had a stellar season, so see if he can build off that.
Yeah, Mac. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll have to make a friendly wager of sorts now that this is in the books.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe get the opposing guy. I'll have to wear some memorabilia from the other team. So, like, you got to rep Patriots gear, or I'd have to rep Cowboys if the Patriots somehow lost.
Not at the game, though.
on the next pod.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
That'll be exciting, though.
Lots of good stuff, boys. Let's keep going with the NFL route. First point I have here, the Netflix special Quarterback featuring Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota is now streaming on Netflix. The series gives fans an inside look at the players' lives on and off the field. It documents intimate moments with their families, friends, and trainers, following them from the field to their homes in a first-of-its-kind in-depth look at the job of quarterback. The headline, as I saw, that caught my eye was Quarterback Takes You Inside the Huddle. You guys have any plans to watch this? Mackie, I think you said you already started watching it. Huff, I think you said you're very interested. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I have an appointment with myself on my couch after this podcast recording to watch this first episode. But Mackie, I'll hand things off over to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just watched episode 1. It's pretty cool. I mean, you go into the depths of, like, you hear everything that they're saying. I don't want to give anything away, but that game
is the first episode Mahomes?
It's all 3 of them.
Okay.
So they go.
I didn't know if they're starting with Mahomes and then you do Kirk Cousins and then Mariota. I didn't really know how they were going to do it. So it's like all of them in one episode.
They bounce around from like scene to scene, but there's a clip where it's like The Raiders
So it's like Hard
game,
Knocks kind of.
the Raiders. I've never actually gotten to Hard Knocks. So I don't really know, but the Raiders game where they were down 17-0 and they came back 130-29.
Yeah.
You hear everything. He's chirping with Max Crosby heavy, and then he just starts going off 4 touchdowns to Kelsey.
I just saw an interview with Max Crosby on Twitter yesterday, and it was that Netflix crew, and they were telling him, they were like, so Pat was mic'd up that game, and we got some really good audio clips, and Max Crosby's like, yeah, I'm gonna need to hear that. He goes, there was some stuff said that game. He's like, I'm gonna need to hear that audio.
But then at the end of the game, they dap each other up. It's all respect. It's really cool to hear all the things, and then you see the outside life of like how they prep for these games, even just like life with their family and stuff. It's not all football, but it is really cool to see like every aspect of like what these guys are doing in the season and outside of the season.
That video I sent you guys on Instagram, the cutscene they put of Mahomes getting hurt in that playoff game where Henny had to come in. They like that one clip. I'm like, okay, I'll watch every single episode. I'm good.
I saw that and I turned it on right away. I was like, oh, I'll start watching this. Dude, I'm telling you, you're gonna be itching. I was sitting there. I was like,
that's
I was
why
going through the calendar. I was counting each day, like how many days until the 7th.
Dude, that's exactly what Hard Knocks does for me every year. I watch Hard Knocks and I'm like, I just need at least the preseason. Give me something.
Yeah, it's so dope. But Mariota's a weird wild card in this Kirk Cousins, Pat Mahomes, and then Marcus Mariota. But
I was gonna say like
Kirk's pretty cool too.
I thought some people were kind of like weirded out. They put Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Mariota's the oddball out, but I saw some people like all these names they could have thrown in. It's like, yeah, these guys got to agree to this shit too. Like Mahomes, obviously, he's like, they want to see me, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But like, if you could have picked any 3 quarterbacks for them to do this with, obviously, we're all going to say the top 3, like Burrow, Mahomes, Allen. But like, is there anyone else that you're like, this would have been cool to see them in this?
Trevor Lawrence.
And I don't know. I hate Trevor Lawrence. I think everyone would want to see Burrow because he's so quiet about it.
Lamar Jackson.
Social life.
I think Lamar would actually be a cool one.
Justin
Fields.
Fields.
To see Lamar. You'd love to see Lamar just because, like, especially with the contract year and everything, like hearing him talk about it and stuff. And, I think Lamar is definitely a big pick here.
I think Justin Fields wouldn't be a bad one either.
I think like
can really make that jump or fall flat on his face.
I also think it'd be cool if they did like Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and like Aaron Rodgers. Like you get like the young goat, the middle of the pack, Kirk Cousins, who's always there, and then you get like one of the best of our generation. You know what I mean? Like the older
guy left.
Yeah, the best, the
even
last
old
like
guy
left
behind,
of our generation.
even though he's like behind those other old guys in terms of his class.
He's still.
I was gonna say
him.
You know what's crazy though is Mariota being in it. I mean, I think it would have to be because of what Mackie said, or how
like Mariota might not even be a starter.
Agreeing to it. No, he's not.
Well, yeah, I mean he kind of is. Him and Desmond Ridder.
He's the starter until he fucks up. Like it's his job week 1.
Oh really? I thought it was Desmond Ridder's year. I thought they were rolling with Ridder.
Really?
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong in that. I thought I saw they're rolling with Mariota, but maybe I just saw. Maybe just.
It's not like Atlanta wasted like a top 10 pick on him. He was drafted 72nd overall. Like you can.
Yeah, Mariota's a backup on the Eagles. He's a backup on the Eagles. Mariota's not on the Falcons anymore.
Oh, he's not there anymore.
No.
Damn.
It's Desmond Ridder's team.
That's so weird that they're doing a.
No, this was produced before. But... Yeah, no, it was produced last year when he was a starting quarterback, Mackie.
Matt or Ace, you're right. Their depth chart goes Desmond Ridder 1, Taylor Heineke 2, and I've never heard of this guy at the 3 spot.
Taylor Heineke could be better.
Dude, the Falcons are a sleeper team this year. They're
just young Bucks. They're super young.
Yeah,
they could win the division. And remember when they made those additions with Jesse Bates? That defense is actually good.
Calais Campbell.
Jesse Bates.
Dude, they got some names. AJ Terrell.
Gotta see what Kyle Pitts can do this year. I know Ace, you're big on him. I'm not very big on him, but throw a different quarterback in that system and see what he could do. Obviously, got the athleticism.
I just wish he got a change of scenery. That's what he really needs.
I think that Falcons team could be pretty scary this year. Not scary,
but
like they're going to.
That whole division stacks up against each other. Think about the other teams. The Saints also pride themselves on having a very good defense. The Bucs have a very good defense. The Panthers have a very young, underrated defense. That's going to be a low-scoring division. Those will be tight games week in and week out, in my opinion, in the NFC South.
Yeah, I like that young Panthers team a lot, but
Baker Mayfield has the clutch gene too.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be the Panthers or the Falcons division, in my opinion. I'm
You
not
think the
sold on the
Saints have a
Saints.
chance?
The Saints? I think the Saints should be the favorite going in.
Really? I don't know.
Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara. Derek Carr is not bad, actually, in my opinion.
There's so many question marks with Kamara, though. Is he going to play?
Even if he doesn't, they brought in Jamal Williams.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I've never been a big Saints guy. I feel like they're always
Saints
there.
have got to
and
be
they just never get
favorites
the job
going
done.
into the season.
Wasn't Olave the best? Olave is top 3 rookie receiver last year.
Yeah,
Definitely top 3.
Garrett
I wouldn't put him
Wilson
at number 1. I'd say Garrett Wilson was number 1.
But yeah, that defense too has so many names. Lattimore's like a certified dog. Demario Davis, a few other big names. That O-line's one of the best in the league as well. Second year, last year they were under a new head coach. And Derek Carr, let's not take away from what he's done in his career. He's gotten injured at tough times, and he never really played on a great team, but he always puts up yards. And then that offense in the dome, I think he might be chucking it pretty well.
The NFC South division winner odds go from FanDuel as followed: Saints plus 135, Falcons plus 220, Panthers 330, Bucks plus 700. So back to what I was saying about the Falcons and Panthers, I was looking at it more. I remember seeing these odds. Those are the only two I think is worth throwing money on because you could bet both of those. As long as the Saints don't win the division, you win money.
I think anybody could win that division.
That's what I mean.
Except for the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks have a chance.
The roster's not bad, though.
I think the Bucks' ceiling this season is winning 6 games.
Their roster's not bad, though. It's a really good defense. Too good of a defense to lose.
I mean, they had 7. Would they have 8 wins last year with the best quarterback of all time?
Yeah, but he was actually showing signs of being washed up.
It was not even him. It was just the pressure, and
it was the play calling too.
With.
Yeah, Todd Bowles is not a head coach. That's the first problem.
He's a defensive coordinator. He excels in that role, and then they put him at the helm. He loses focus, and he can't get it done. We've seen it time and time again.
There's a reason all these young offensive minds get head coaching jobs, and it works out, and then all these defensive guys stay defensive coordinators.
Whenever they get the chance to, they blow it up, and then they end up back in the same role that they're meant for.
Yep.
Which is crazy, because in the NFL, defense definitely wins the championships.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look at all the former head coaches that are defensive coordinators nowadays. I mean, Todd Bowles, he was the head coach of Tampa Bay, got fired, or left, I guess. He left, and he went and coached the Jets, got fired there, and he's back to the Bucs, and he kind of walked right into the head coaching position with Arians leaving.
The only defensive coaches that obviously I know Tomlin's a defensive coach, Belichick, but all these young guys, they're all they're young offensive mind. Yeah. They're this West Coast offense.
Rob Saleh,
bringing to Miami. Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, true. Saleh was a defensive coordinator. That's a good one. Yeah.
But it's hard to find them. It's hard to find them nowadays.
I definitely could name 10 that were offensive coordinators before I named 10 that were defensive coordinators.
Agreed. I don't think I could. It's tough. Yeah, they're all offensive. Well, that's the game nowadays too. But I think that Bucks team, I don't think they're going to win the division. Don't expect a lot out of them, but they'll surprise some people with some of their wins. The theatrics Baker Mayfield puts on late in the game, and a defense with that many Pro Bowlers: Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, Levante David, Devin White. They have the young and Antoine Winfield. They still have Sean Murphy Bunting and Jamel Dean. That's a good defense.
Mackie, you said what? Their ceiling was 6 wins?
I'd say so, yeah.
What would you guess their win total is set at?
4.5.
6.5.
That's insane. It's got to be the weak division that they're in. They're expecting them to probably get 3. What's their division total win? Probably 2.5.
I don't see that. I just see actual win totals. They're set at 6.5. The under is -145.
I would take an alternate -5 or under 5.5.
Let me see if I can do that. Alternate win totals. Let's see here.
It's probably
Mackie, you kind of think they're tanking essentially to rebuild that team.
I just think 5.5 is +115.
I would hammer that. I think that's an incredible play. I just think that they're the weakest team in the weakest division. So how can you expect a team like that to have more than 6 wins this season?
Ace.
The defense, just on the defense alone, is my thought.
I don't think their defense matches up much better than any other team, than many teams.
Defense in that division? Yeah, no, I think they all
not
did. But,
even that division, I would say the Carolina Panthers. And the
yeah,
Saints
but
have elite
they were
defense.
hurt last year. Their defense was still lights out, and they're missing arguably their best player on defense with Shaq Barrett out for last year. He's a leading sack getter a few years ago, integral piece of that championship team 2 years ago. I mean, I think they'll be able to steal some wins, but yeah, I agree with you. Right around the 6 to 8,
Mackie,
5 to 7
here's
mark.
here's why it's 6.5.
Crazy.
That
Here's
division's
why it's
horrible
6.5.
though.
Their division's horrible.
Is their
And the
schedule
two-
weak?
They have a weak schedule. They play the NFC North. That's just the one that I check. They're in the NFC. They play the whole NFC North, I noticed, which isn't a great division, obviously.
It's
And
an
then
awful
they get the AFC South.
I think that they can literally be the worst team in the league this year. I'm not saying they're gonna be. I think they have. I think that they have the potential to be the worst team this season in the league.
They have the potential to be. I agree with that take, but I just think the defense is too good to see it happen.
I think
So
they'll go
who-
2 and
Who do you think is?
I think they'll go 2 and 4 in the division.
Who do
who
you
I think is the
like,
worst team off the
actually
top of my
worse
head?
than them?
In the NFL.
Texans.
Yeah, there's a few teams in that NFC South that aren't very good. The Titans aren't good. The Cardinals, worst team in the league, probably projected to be.
They have more
Yeah.
promise though.
Who?
I see what you're both
The
are saying.
Cardinals.
Neither I don't
They lost to Baker Mayfield on a worse Rams team last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's fluke games towards the end of the season where both teams are already in the gutter.
I mean, they have no starting quarterback or starting head coach. It's brand new day one for the Cardinals.
I mean, Kyler Murray has
He's
potential.
going to be hurt. He's not going to start game one.
Yeah,
Game
they're
one?
starting with him.
How long
They're
is
starting
the,
with him on the sideline.
How long
I
is
don't
he
know
out?
because he got hurt midway through the year, maybe.
Yeah, I think I saw he's missing at least the first 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
He'll probably start the season on the IR.
Yeah, Cardinals are in that discussion as well.
It'll be interesting, but I don't. Now that I think about it, you're not wrong, Mackie. But I just think that if there's any hope for that Bucs team, it'll be in their defense getting back to their championship ways.
Yeah, and they're also in the probably the worst division in the league, I'd say. So that gives them hope as well.
From the schedule Huff just presented for that NFC South. I mean, they're gonna get to feast on a plethora of young quarterbacks. It's gonna be all inexperienced guys thrown at them.
Their out of conference games are very friendly, and like I said, they play the AFC South. The hardest team in the AFC South, I think we'd all agree, is the Jags, and they get the Jags at home in Tampa. I know it's not a far travel, but home games mean a lot in the NFL any given Sunday. So.
Sure,
I don't know.
Sure.
At 6.5, I think it's the right number. They're definitely going to be teetering that.
I'd say I if I was the odds maker, if I was in Vegas and making NFL lines, I would put it at probably 5.5. But I mean, what's a game here or there? It's just very easy to drop one or win one.
Like who's
Mackie,
their first 3 games?
Mackie, your basis for your thought process is probably off of our life being a 16 game schedule too.
They could start the season 0-5, and it wouldn't surprise me. Vikings, Bears, Eagles, Saints, Lions.
They could also
even
start
good.
it. They could also start at like 2-3.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lions are going to be a little overrated this year. I still think that they make the playoffs. I don't know about winning the division. You still got the Vikings right there, but they haven't done anything yet. You're putting a lot of hype into a team that literally has done nothing except for knock the Packers out of the playoffs.
They're the Hard Knocks champions. Everyone loves them.
I'm not
Biting
saying that they're not
kneecaps.
going to be good. I'm just saying I wouldn't jump the gun on them just yet.
Oh, no, yeah, I agree.
It's not a team I would put money on to win anything on the future.
But they're good enough on paper that I put that down as a win against the Buccaneers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I do like Jared Goff. I think he's probably the most underrated quarterback in the league.
But yeah, we definitely had some good debate on that. What's this next? Oh, we have another show about Hard Knocks. So let's just get into that. We've kind of mentioned Hard Knocks like 7 times. I didn't notice that was the next thing.
Yeah, you guys did, but they announced finally that the New York Jets will be the featured team this year. So I think that could be very interesting coming into this season with Aaron Rodgers and all that going on. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
It's
obviously
the most overrated team. Overrated.
Young-
here though.
a very young team. Yeah, I think this was the team we were all waiting on them to just announce it. But you get Rodgers in there. We're all waiting to see the clips of, we all remember Zach Wilson saying last year, if the Jets go out and sign a veteran quarterback, he's going to make his life hell in practice. And I saw a couple memes today of Rodgers like showing him something with his hands. Like it looked like he was like talking with his hands. and it was a meme, and someone was like, Rogers explaining the benefits of ayahuasca to a young Zach Wilson at training camp or something like that. And I'm like, I just need all these Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson moments. So everyone that's all these Zach Wilson supporters from last year saying, oh, we don't need a quarterback, he's the guy. I don't know how many people were saying that, but there were people saying that. I'd like to see all these videos of Aaron Rodgers just putting him in a body bag, showing him, maybe try this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. I'd really like to see some of those videos. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely want to see that Zach Wilson Aaron Rodgers interaction. But the one thing I was just thinking about sitting here when you were saying that, though, if anybody were to make a former veteran like MVP's life hell in a quarterback competition, Zach Wilson's got the tools for it. He's a practice player. We saw him going into the draft skyrocket up the boards because in practice he has all of those tools. It's just when you get on the game day field, it's in his head, in my opinion, because he has that deep bag. It's just he's not able to put it all together.
That's a good point.
Maybe this is what he needs. I mean, he's not going to give. I don't think he'll give Aaron Rodgers a run for his money whatsoever. But having a mentor like this early in your career, I mean, he was the second overall pick. He's got to have something.
I was hoping he got dealt to a different team and got a new start somewhere because he could be good at it somewhere else. In my opinion,
I think this is good for him right now.
I think this is great. I think him getting dealt would be the worst thing possible for him. It'd be the end of his career. I think having a mentor like this, dealing him right now is kind of like what Baker's doing right now. Obviously, he didn't get the experience that Baker got as a starter, and he didn't get to the playoffs or win a playoff game. But it's the same kind of thing. Baker's kind of lost right now, and now he's on a team where he's starting quarterback, but he's in a terrible position. You're in a situation where you can't really win.
I was going to use the example of, do you guys remember Josh Rosen?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Arizona drafted him. Same thing, kind of similar. They brought in, that's what the next year they drafted Kyler. They shipped out Josh Rosen instead of keeping him for a year, bounced around teams. I think I think Zach Wilson would have a very similar situation if they traded him. And I don't think there are any similar players. I'm just saying, I think that's kind of the route he would take.
My point was if he got dealt, he would go somewhere would be the immediate starter. And
yeah.
I would
have
liked
a good thing for a guy like
No,
Zach?
I don't know if it would have. I don't know if it would have been good, but I personally, as a GM, would have taken a chance on someone like him, and I would have liked to have seen him get another shot somewhere else because he has the tools.
Yeah, when you say that,
in the NFL, would you start Zach Wilson over right now?
If you put him on the Raiders with Josh McDaniels, I think you'd do great.
Yeah, but the entire time he's there, you're just waiting for Jimmy to come back.
No, I'm saying instead, I would have done it instead of Jimmy. Not right now. This would have been like
I think that's
a while
crazy.
ago.
No, I think that would just
the potential's still off the chart. The potential's off the charts for Zach Wilson. He just can't put it together. The skill set's there. We see it.
Flashes of him do it, like other than BYU.
Other than that one throw in the combine that got him drafted second overall to begin with.
Leading up to the draft, where he just skyrocketed. He's a practice player, but it'll be good. Good Hard Knocks content for sure.
I'm truly trying to think of a team where he could be a starter.
He could go to the. Well, he's probably better than Desmond Ridder.
I was gonna say he would get like I could name teams he would have a quarterback battle with, like the Falcons, the
Arizona.
Bucks, basically any team in the NFC South, other than Derek Carr.
Saints,
the Commanders.
True. Yeah, Commanders. Sam Howell's their starter. That would be a competition there.
You could compete with Jordan Love. I mean, I feel like I'd rather. I don't know, Jordan Love. That's another name that's so weird to me.
I'll take my chances with Jordan Love. We haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
From what I've seen, though, it looks ugly compared to that.
Out of the Hard Knock stuff, that's definitely what I'm most excited to see is all the Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers content that we're going to get.
God, I'm so excited for football.
Breece Hall will be fun to watch, too. I mean, as he comes back from that injury, he looked like one of the most electric running backs in the league at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He definitely was.
Sauce
Tried him
Gardner,
in
too.
fantasy. That was a killer.
I just don't want the Jets to succeed. I cannot stand these Jets fans. I think that it's super. They're like a Super Bowl or bust. You're not winning a Super Bowl this year.
They're in a tough division, tough conference.
I want them to do good and lose in the first round of the playoffs.
I think they have a better chance of missing the playoffs than making it 2 rounds in the playoffs.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I could see them getting to the first round, though.
Dude, I mean, that AFC is.
I don't think so, but no, they won't have an easy game almost on their whole schedule.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny when they sitting at 7-8 with 2 games left.
Good stuff there, boys. Let's in other news, DeAndre Hopkins to the Tennessee Titans is now heating up. You guys think he would push this team to playoff contention and come into this season?
No.
I don't. They've made it surprisingly the past 2 years, 3 years though. Like
They made it last year.
Oh yeah, they
It's
just
Jags.
missed it by a game though, right? Though
Trevor
it was the
Lawrence
last
came out
game of the
nowhere.
season.
I think
Didn't
Trevor
that come down
Lawrence-
to
I don't think it came down to the last game of the season. I think they played
second to last?
Week
Yeah.
17 they played, and the Jags just needed to win. And
Thursday, it was a primetime game too, if I recall. But
I think it was Thursday.
Yeah.
I think it was Thursday.
But they still, before they made the playoffs, they were like the 1 seed the year before. But last year, still they overperformed in my opinion. I don't think D Hop would help him. I don't get why he's going there. I saw him throw shade at the Bills on Instagram though, which was funny.
They're gonna offer him the most.
Yeah, he's just bag chasing, not ring chasing.
Yeah, I think him going to Tennessee does absolutely nothing. Like you see all those memes, like when Dylan Brooks joined the Rockets, you see their futures odds to win the finals, and it like doesn't change. That's exactly what
Probably
would
went
happen.
down.
Well, D Hop is going to end his career kind of like Randy Moss did with the Titans.
Imagine they still had
Yeah.
AJ Brown on the other side though. With Derrick Henry in the backfield, a good Ryan Tannehill at the.
I like Traylon Burks.
Oh.
I liked him. He was a good receiver last year, rookie.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have confirmed that their orange cream colored jerseys will be returning this season. What do we think, boys? These are some good looking jerseys. I mean, imagine if they had them with Brady. I know Huff said that earlier. What do you guys think about these jerseys? They the iciest coming into this season.
I think they missed out on doing it the year after Brady retired, but yeah, I mean these are pretty cool. It's a nice throwback.
It's like these are throwback to when they won the Super Bowl the first time.
Oh,
What,
too, yeah.
99?
Yeah, something like that with that good defense. But I love these reverse retro type. These aren't reverse retro. These are just retro jerseys. Teams are breaking them out. I mentioned the Patriots in my top 3 jerseys in the few segments back. But gotta love the NFL lighting up the rules and allowing cool ones like that.
It's the helmet. Now they're allowed the alternate helmet. That's what changed everything.
Is Baker going to be a dog in those jerseys? Mackie doesn't think.
20
I don't
lose
think so either.
24-7 on Thursday Night Football in those jerseys.
I
He'll
don't
have
even
a
hate
sick.
Baker.
He's a garbage time goat though. He loves
I
making
kinda
it
like
interesting at the end.
Yeah, when the pressure's not on, he's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Alrighty, boys. And to wrap up our NFL segment for this week, we have our off-season positional rankings. Let's take a look at everyone's top 5 tight ends coming into this season. Who wants to get us going?
I'll get us going here. Bless you.
Jesus.
I'll get us going here. Top 5 tight ends. Like you said, we've done the last couple positions the past couple weeks. I'm gonna go 5-1 here. I think we're all gonna have the same top 3. Pretty similar with the wide receiver position. I think it's a pretty consensus top couple guys in the NFL. But number 5, little bias here. I'm gonna go my guy Dalton Schultz. Pretty biased, makes me some money. So Dalton Schultz joining the Houston Texans, but still a top guy in the league in my opinion. So I'm gonna slide him there at that number 5 spot. Number 4, I'm gonna go Dallas Goedert, Philadelphia Eagles. True tight end, definitely a guy, not necessarily one of the best in the league, but I'd put him in that top 5. A consistent, true tight end. Number 3, Mark Andrews. Number 2, George Kittle. Number 1, Travis Kelce. All for the reasons that we're all going to have that top 3. At least I assume we're all going to have that same top 3.
Huff, when you said a little biased, I thought you were going to throw Muth in there because he's right on the edge of it. Or he's maybe a year or 2 out.
I said it last year. I truly think that by the end of this year, he'll be arguably a top 5 tight end.
Yeah. I think like right now he's probably in like 8 to 12, but he has the potential to shoot up to like 6 to 8 in my opinion.
He's just like a true tight end. Like he's never gonna have the Kyle Pitts 70, 60-yard run or run after.
But he'll catch
like,
7 for 70 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I was gonna say even 7 for 40 and 2 touchdowns.
He's actually more athletic than you're giving him credit for too. I remember watching some Steelers games last year. They designed some plays to him, get him involved in weird ways. He's got a lot of potential, especially in that offense and the way that they're able to develop tight ends. I'm eager to see him jump up the boards. But
I think for all the reasons you just said, the weapons all around the field, I think that's going to be Pickett's security blanket all year.
Yeah, for sure. And Big 88, how do you miss him? I'll get into my top 5 here real quick. Coming at number 5, I had the same guy as you on my list, just one slot lower. I'll go with Dallas Goedert there for the Philadelphia Eagles. Underrated stud, does it year in, year out. Edged out Zach Ertz from the team a few years ago, so he's earned a spot there. 4, I'm going with TJ Hawkinson. I couldn't believe that the Lions moved on from him, but he's one of the best younger tight ends in the league. Very similar to these top 3 guys who are Mark Andrews, obviously in Baltimore. A little tough because of the usage there and the weapons around them, but he's elite and the things he makes happen in the red zone, and then the rack is insane. I'm going to go with George Kittle at 2, even though I think he's more dynamic than Travis Kelce, but how do you not put Travis Kelce at number 1? He does everything. But I like how Kittle can break off those 80-yard catch and runs. Just a different type of guy. Younger legs, I guess, but Kelce's second best tight end in NFL history, in my opinion. So he's got to be number 1 after another ring.
Yeah, good list. I really like that TJ Hawkinson pick. He's in mine as well. Number 5, I'm gonna say right now it's biased because I do think Goddard might edge him out, but I'm gonna go Dalton Schultz at 5. Touchdown animal. Obviously he thrived with Dak, but he doesn't have him this year anymore. So we'll see what he can do coming into the 2023 season. But number 4,
I don't want to cut you off, but I do. The reason I put him in there, I think he's gonna help that young Texans team a lot.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think I'm just being a little biased on that as well because Goddard is a beast. But 4, I'm gonna go Hawk as well. I feel like he goes a little under the radar as well. Puts up numbers every week in, week out. Definitely one of the best, most reliable tight ends in the league. A position that you don't really have much to rely on. And then number 3, 2, and 1, I'm gonna go same as you guys. Same as you guys. I'm gonna go Mark Andrews 3. I think Mark Andrews would be 2 if he wasn't injured for most of the season last year. And obviously Lamar had his shit going on as well. But Mark Andrews 3, George Kittle 2, and obviously second best tight end of all time, Travis Kelce.
Crazy that my brother will die on the hill that Mark Andrews is the clear-cut number 2 tight end.
I think that's a very good argument. I would definitely put him at 2 if he had a consistent season last year.
Neither did Kittle though. He only played half the year.
Yeah, but he was playing more than Andrews.
He played they played like reverse season. If you put them together, they had a full season, I think.
But it's like, Kittle's always gonna, like you said, Kittle puts up the splash numbers and the big plays that you remember. Andrews is more of a slant at the goal line touchdown for 6 yards. You know what I mean?
And don't get me wrong, Andrews is right there. I think I really think it goes Kelce, Kittle, Andrews, but Andrews, he can make that run after catch too. He's a lot more athletic than people think. Very strong receiver, great in the red zone. He sees a lot of targets too because of the lack of receiving weapons. I'm eager to see how he performs this year with guys like Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham Jr. We know Duvernay and Bateman are there already. They're going to steal targets from him a bit. But you remember when he was playing with Hayden Hurst, better tight end complement? I think he needs someone to step up in that way. They have, what's his name? Who's the tight end, the young one they have behind him right now? He's not too bad.
Where?
In Baltimore.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, he's actually pretty good from Coastal Carolina, I believe.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty good too. So the Baltimore Ravens are set up for success this year, and Andrew's their best weapon.
Yeah, that is a good point. I like, not saying top 5, but that having Likely on the other side, they do have a really good tight end core. It opens up a lot for Andrews.
Travis Kelce, though, I mean, how good is he? That guy's insane. How many more years do we think he has?
Do you think there's ever
He's
a chance?
older than we all think he is. He's been in the league
he's
9
like
years.
30. I think he's like 34.
Crazy, though. He's still winning Super Bowls, and he's the focal point of the offense.
Do you think
Travis is 33. He'll be 34 by week 5 of the NFL season.
Do you think there's any chance he catches the great Gronk?
I don't think so. Gronk put up like bigger stats in his prime, in my opinion.
And Gronk was just way too dominant. Like Kelce, obviously very dominant, but like not like Gronk was.
Put it this way: you've seen Kelce get lit up a few times in the NFL. Not often at all, but he'll take a shot here and there. Gronk would carry 2 or 3 guys on his back.
Yeah, he was just a different animal.
Gronk was the only. Obviously, I always say I respect Brady, I like Brady, but I was a true Gronkowski fan. I had the jersey, like I was all in on Gronk. He was the most exciting player to watch in his time.
And the off the field antics definitely helped. But the thing is with Kelce, I wonder if it's recency bias for us to say he's the clear cut number 2 tight end of all time. I wonder if you'd ask someone older.
You got
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. I was thinking, yeah. I mean, there's definitely question for him being number 2. I don't think he's the clear-cut number 2. I definitely think he's number 2.
I want to hear Jesse's list because there's 2 guys that none of us have said yet that I want to see if any of us say.
I hope you're not thinking Kyle Pitts. Sorry to cut you off.
I was waiting for you to say Kyle Pitts. That was one of them. There's still one I'm waiting on that easily could be in this top 5, in my opinion. Just injuries have been a problem.
All right. For me, number 5, TJ Hawkinson, Vikings. When he joined the Vikings, or got picked by the Vikings, just started dominating right off the bat. I liked him. I've always had a good eye for him. At 4, Dallas Goedert, Eagles. When he got traded over there, he just started dominating. 3, Mark Andrews. 2, George Kittle, and 1, Travis Kelce.
Yeah, so the one I'm waiting. The Darren Waller. That's
why do you think
he's washed? He's washed. He's washed.
Well, I don't think he makes a case
W for washed.
I don't think he makes a case for top 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of you guys throw him in top 5.
I almost put him at my 5 instead of Schultz.
2 years ago, he was top 3, top 4.
He was 4, like no question 4, if not 3, 2 years ago.
Remember the stellar season from Jordan Reed?
Yeah.
That's somebody.
Well, he was always hurt. He was always good. He got hurt.
When he was on the Skins in 2016 or 17. I had him on my fantasy team. He was the best tight end, or fantasy wise, best tight end in the league.
Just couldn't stay on the field like the rest of those Redskins. Yeah. I liked Vernon Davis. He was another good tight end from back in the day.
I was gonna say, Ace. I think you liked my tweet. There was a random tweet the one day. It was like, "Who's your favorite random tight end of all time?" I was like, I was always a Vernon Davis guy.
Yeah, he was really good on the 49ers too. Did he play with Kaepernick? That's when he was in there.
He went to the Super Bowl
Alex
with them.
Smith.
Yeah, he was that Alex Smith, Kaepernick era Niners team. Who else did he play for? He played for another team.
He played for the Redskins as well, I believe.
Redskins, that's it.
Yeah. Another one that we haven't mentioned, just shout out to him, Antonio Gates. I mean, that guy was a bucket for a while.
What about Witten?
Yeah, Witten was good. He was solid. Never any success, but he was very good.
He's got top 5 numbers.
Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez, straight shooter, man.
Yeah. I like those lists.
I'm still on Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis, he had like 9 years in San Francisco, and then he got traded to Denver mid-season. Then he signed with the Redskins for 4 years.
That makes sense.
I was gonna say I don't really remember him in Denver.
He played 9 games in Denver.
That's the tight end's got to be the most, like we were saying earlier with the Brotherhood Tight End University. Got to be probably the funniest positional group in the NFL. The actual people that play that position. One thing we don't take into account enough, we talk about it week to week, is the blocking and how important that is as a tight end.
He won the Super Bowl with the Broncos. He got traded to the Broncos.
I was gonna say maybe it might have been that year.
I thought they had Jacob Tammy.
No.
Peyton.
Yep.
Julius Thomas.
He was on that team. He was on that team with Julius Thomas. Yeah. Remember how good he was that year? That was all Peyton.
And then he went to the Jaguars and was terrible.
Yeah, he signed that massive deal with the Jags. He played in 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, he played in the Super Bowl, the power outage Super Bowl, with the 49ers, and then
where they almost came back.
In the Denver Carolina Super Bowl, he didn't have a catch, didn't have a target, didn't have any yards. I don't even think he touched the field.
I hurt.
Von Miller
ring.
MVP. That was DeMarcus Ware too on that defense. He was a beast.
Yeah.
His fake spin. That defense definitely won it. I think the final score was like 13-8, wasn't it?
No, I thought they smoked them.
No, they smoked they smoked Carolina. You're right. No, Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl, it was a low-scoring game.
Yeah, you're thinking of Ace. You're thinking of when Peyton got blown out by my Seahawks.
No, I was thinking of when they beat Carolina Panthers.
What was the score that? Here, wait, I have it pulled up.
I thought they got crushed early and Cam Newton was laying on the ground.
No, you're right. Huff, you're right. It was the Panthers game. It wasn't a blowout. It was when Denver got blown out, like 43-41 to something.
I'm looking up the score from that game. 24-10, the Broncos won.
Yeah, and they went up early.
They were up 10-0 in the first quarter, and they never looked back.
What about when Denver got blown out? They definitely got That was when it was a
40,
safety
43-8. It was
safety first
43-8.
play. That's why I
Seattle
thought 13 to
smoked
8.
them.
Yeah, it was a safety in the first play.
Yeah, Seattle smoked them. I was like, I remember because that was Russ's second year. That was my second year really liking Seattle. I remember all my friends like that was Peyton Manning in Denver, like the best team. This team's gonna win the Super Bowl. They have no chance. I was like, I'll take Seattle. I was the only one of my friends. I was trying to find anyone to get to bet on with me. I'm like, so young to gamble. I'm like, yeah, I'll clean house on this Super Bowl. That was a good one for me. It was the most boring Super Bowl of all time, 43-8 final score, but.
12th man.
Malcolm Smith, Super Bowl MVP.
Tons of good stuff here, boys, out of the NFL. Just 57 days until the regular season kicks off. So I'm very excited about that. I know you guys are too. Lots in the works for things during that season as well. But let's jump over to the MLB. Let's start off with our power rankings for this week, the week of July 10th. At number 5, we have the Texas Rangers. Number 4, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 3, the Baltimore Orioles. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Rays. And at number 1, the Atlanta Braves, securing their spot at number 1 for yet another week. What do you guys have to say about this week's power rankings?
Braves are not going anywhere anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think we finally have had the situation where the Rays have seen their last time at number 1. I think the Braves are there to stay, like Mackie said.
Those Marlins, I think, got snubbed this week, though. I will say.
Marlins, we got the Dodgers, a couple other AL teams. Yeah, Marlins, D-backs then.
D-backs got snubbed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they really got snubbed though.
The Cincinnati Reds. Jesse loves the Cincinnati Reds. He bets on them every day. I think I like them too. They're always plus money.
I do always take the Reds.
They're always plus money though. They win a lot.
I was gonna say they're like 25-8 since bringing what's his name up.
Jesse, I think that brings us into one of the next topics about Ellie, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Prior to the All Star break, Ellie De La Cruz yet again made headlines as he stole second, third, and home all in the same inning. He's been the catalyst to the Reds' newfound success. Let's see what he has in store for the second half of this season after this All Star break.
He stole third and home on the same pitch. So he stole third. He threw it back to the mound. The guy just wasn't paying attention, and he just stole home.
That's mad.
That was so cool.
Yeah, his speed is just impeccable. It's absolutely insane how fast this guy is. He gets down the line before the guy can even turn around. He's sliding already.
I love when he hits the infield ground balls and beats him out like every time.
A routine ground ball. He beat a routine ground ball like before the ball was even before the bag was even in the frame. He was through the bag. It was insane.
That's crazy. That whole team, though, I mean, obviously he headlines everything, but all these rookies they called up throughout the year that weren't on the opening day roster. Now they have Votto back too. They have, like I always say, they have more guys in their system because they do. I mean, this run that they're on, I wonder if they can keep it up. I think they might fizzle out down the stretch, but I think that's yet to be seen.
I think they have the keys there. I don't know.
They just got that guy Ben Lively back on the mound too. He had a good game. I think he had like a low 3 ERA in the first half, so that'll be a nice ad to come back to. But I still think one of these older NL Central teams will come back and steal the division. But I hope the Reds can hang on.
Brew Crew.
Yeah, Brew Crew. You got the Cubbies, the Pirates.
I think the Cubbies and Pirates are kind of dead in the water at this point. Cardinals cannot make a comeback at this point, I don't think.
The Pirates just needed to avoid. They had a fucking 10 or 11 game losing streak, and then like 2 weeks later they had like an 8 game losing streak. Like you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do it twice.
Yeah, you can have one. Every team has one of those stretches where they lose like 3 series, just whether they lose them or get swept. You lose maybe 8 straight, 9 straight, like, but fucking 18 games in a month. That's like
they had a worse record probably than the A's that month.
Yeah, they probably did.
Good stuff, boys. Why don't we jump in and review this Home Run Derby and All-Star Game real quick. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. wins the 2023 Home Run Derby, taking down Randy Arozarena in the final. Guerrero closed at plus 370 to win the Derby. Pretty darn impressive there. Did any of us have him to advance through any of the rounds?
No, I actually Arozarena ruined my whole night.
That's right, you did have him.
Adolis Garcia to get out of the first round. That didn't look like a good pick the entire time. the one that I really wanted that ended up boosting, I got it like plus 255, was the Luis Robert to the finals. Rosarina puts up 35 in the second round, and I knew I was getting tucked away to bed before the finals. But Rosarina was there to play. It looked like the finals was a little interesting because Guerrero obviously had just got done hitting the big boy. They're like, all right, you get 5 minutes, and then you're right back up to bat. And he's probably like, what the fuck? You have to go right now? Like, meanwhile, Rosarina was sitting over there. I think it was 45 minutes in between at bats. He's sitting.
He
over there
wasn't in the
just watching.
cage.
I was gonna say he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there. Like, I was like, I'd at least go hit a couple balls. Like, I'm not in the league, but like, I'd maybe want to stay warm. Once they said it was like 35-ish minutes since his last at bat, I'd be like, go hit some balls. Like, what are you doing still sitting out there? Like, I guess you get tired.
You could tell in that last round too that it looked like he had been off because he started the first like minute on a low rate, and then that second minute he popped off. He didn't hit any far enough to get that big bonus, which would have helped them win. But I think he
bonus wins you if you get that.
He
bonus
was hitting them like that though. Did you see a
Rosarina?
You see a Rosarina just like hitting them? It was like one after another, after another, after another. When he got on a tear, he was ripping them. But like you said, Huff, going into that final round, everybody thought Vladdy was dead. I made our breaking news about that this week, kind of. I actually ended up throwing on that. He was plus 175 going into that final round. I was like, that's pretty crazy, honestly.
Dude, going into the round with Julio, he was plus 375 still.
That's crazy because people thought he was gonna fizzle out because he's Fat Vlad.
Because he's Fat Vlad. They thought he was just going to get too tired and not be able to hit the ball through the fucking stadium. He's the biggest dude
he was
out
hitting
there. Like,
bombs.
if he hits the ball, it's out.
Yeah. But the only tough thing is, like the tiredness said, like that was the only bat I ended up hitting that night. I got crushed on the over distance, 484 and a half, and it hit 484 by Luis Robert. I was like, that's such a bad beat. Maybe they got to remeasure that ball, honestly. I bet you they could grab another foot there. But I got blue balled by J-Rod as well. He put up that classic first round. I didn't get to watch because I was coaching, but then I got out to see him lose to Vladdy. So I was like, tough. Got to jump on the Vladdy wagon now and get cash, luckily.
Yeah, I started off. I got Adalis at plus money because my odds boost. Terrible performance. And then I got Adley right before the round started. He puts up 28. I'm feeling good. And I look over and Louis Robert has 28 before his extra time, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, I'm done betting on this." Like, and then I get so mad at myself for losing money on this stupid shit.
I bet the Derby every year, and
you got it.
I can't tell you the last time I've actually had my guy get to the finals. That's why, or win it, or no, I've never had a guy win it. So that's why this year I was like, I'm just going to take him to get to the finals. Because last year, who did Soto beat last year?
Was it Alonso?
No, Alonso got out in the first round.
Both years?
Yeah, who did Soto beat last year?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up. You guys keep going. I'll get back to my.
Yeah, I think the last time that's the best event of the summer. I think the last time I actually hit on a winner was probably with like, what was the year that like Bryce Harper did it? I didn't like bet
Julio Rodriguez, Huff.
Oh, he beat
Julio. Okay,
J-Rod
it wasn't last year then. I had the pictures of all the recent winners. That was what it was on my.
Alonso won the two before that.
Soto, Alonso, Bryce Harper in 2018, Aaron Judge 2017, Stanton 16, and then Todd Frazier 15, and then it just gets Cespedes in 14. That's a flash from the past. How about 13 and 14 for Yoenis Cespedes? I didn't see that.
Alonso did the same thing, both Mets. That's all they can win, man. They love the home run derby.
That's the most exciting event of the MLB season, in my opinion, though. I mean, it's so fun to watch. Adley Rutschman had switch hitting, too. That was not setting the record for most switch hit home runs in a derby.
Oh, that was incredible. I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
Even though Mackey, like you said the other night, he played himself by not hitting right the whole time and just winning because of the stadium. But, I mean, it's a pretty cool feat. It's a pretty cool feat to do that on live TV and own that record of switch hit home runs in the derby. Especially hitting off your dad.
I still don't think that he was going to... Yeah, that's why I picked him, because his dad was pitching to him. I was like, oh, the chemistry here, they've been practicing this forever. But Louis Robert just went off. He was not losing that.
What about Vladdy's head coach throwing him BP for it, too? That's pretty cool.
You guys see the guy pitching to Alonso?
Yeah, terrible.
Oh, my God. He's had the best pitcher the last 3 years.
I was going to say the one that surprised me the most was Julio in the first round. 41 fucking home runs. Like
at home.
At home, yeah, talk about getting that crowd into it. I know he was one of the last guys to go in the first round, but damn, 41. I actually missed his first round performance, like the first part of it. I watched the bonus. I come downstairs, I forget what number he was at. I'm like, holy shit, he hasn't even hit his bonus yet? And my dad was like, no, he still has a minute or 30 seconds, whatever it was. And then it ends at 41. I'm like, who was Julio going against in the first round? Was it Pete?
Alonso, yeah, Alonso.
Yeah, it was like, don't even go up to bat, dude. 41.
Right after he hit it, I was like, yeah, Alonso's hitting 42. I think he hit like 18.
Yeah. So me and my cousin were talking about this when we were watching it. I think it is 1,000 times. It's not even comparable how much easier it is to go first in that and not have to hit a number.
Not have to know what you have to get to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing I wanted to say. So, like, do you guys remember the old format with the outs?
Yeah,
So much
10
better.
outs.
What do you like better, the 10 outs or this? Because I hate. Here's my thing with this new format. I like it. I like seeing the high numbers, all that. You know, Adley, Luis Robert, 28, 27 home runs. It's like big scores. It's what everyone wants to see. A lot of home runs. Everyone wants to see a lot of home runs. I don't even see the fucking ball land.
You can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm watching the next. I'm watching the next ball before that one even lands.
I think
it's so fast.
I think it's so flawed because initially they said that you cannot throw a next pitch until
the first one lands.
And now they're just firing them off, bro. And I'm
Do you see a Rosarina? Dude.
And because you want to know why? Because even with the rule, they weren't stopping it. So they were just like, fuck it, let's just get rid of this rule. So they're just gonna start firing them off. And you can't even like appreciate the home runs. The guy hits at 460 feet and he's already swinging the bat again.
Yeah.
And he just hit a ground ball. And you know what I mean? You don't.
I also think
No.
I think the old way is way better. I also think that putting little kids in the outfield is probably the dumbest thing any league has ever done. I mean, you're putting 10-year-olds in the outfield for Vladdy Jr. to hit 110 miles per hour.
Praise to that kid.
Praise to that kid. It's like these guys got to be signing papers. Like,
kid's going to catch the ball. He's looking the wrong way. Smacks him in the face.
You see the kid that got hit?
Yeah.
I saw a picture of him after. His eye was a balloon, dude. It's like this kid did not have a good time.
You gotta keep his glove up.
Poor kid.
That'll teach him how to keep his glove up.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up, though, in my opinion. Why are you putting 10-year-olds out there for Vladdy Jr. to hit 110 mile per hour shots at him?
They were talking on part of my take. They were talking about that this morning, and Big Cat said they should just put a bunch of obese men out there and watch them run around and fight over these baseballs.
That'd be more entertaining than these fucking little kids.
He was like, get them the perfectly level of drunk, make them all be shirtless, and they have to chase the balls that stay in the stadium. I was dying.
All right, boys, let's go over the All Star Game here. The National League won the 2023 All Star Game by a score of 3-2. The American League has won the previous 9 matchups in the Midsummer Classic. Looks like the under hit 7.5. National League closed at Huff. What'd you say? 115, something around there.
I think it was minus 120.
120. What do you guys think about this one?
It was a sketch line. Mackie said it. We should have knew when we saw Zach. I mean, I know they pitch for an inning, but when you see the matchup, when you're loading up the sports book and it's Garrett Cole versus Zach Gallen, and Zach Gallen has a minus 120 favorite. I mean, I knew there was something a little fishy up there, but the AL had the lead the whole time. I knew I should have hedged whenever they had the 2-1 lead. But I still don't even know his name, Mackie. What's the guy's name on the won the MVP? Diaz. Elias Diaz hits the home run and. Me and Mackie were watching that before we got in the meeting last night when that happened. I was like, Elias Diaz just hit a home run. Mackie's like, who's he even fucking play for?
I actually had no idea who that was. I don't know if that makes me a casual. I know I'm not a casual.
Dude, he's a Rocky. None of us know who that is. Like,
I had no idea who that was. You said his name, and I was like, who?
You don't know Elias Diaz, dude? Come on.
I didn't.
Yeah, you can call me a casual for that one. I didn't know who that was.
No, I'm just messing with you. He's not a big name, but I just know him from fantasy baseball. So he's like one of those catchers that's always on the streaming wire.
He has 9 home runs in the season.
Yeah, I go, Mackie, how many home runs does this guy have? He goes, 9. I go, and he plays for the fucking Rockies. 6 of them are probably in Denver.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, the rosters don't even matter. The NL roster looked a lot better, but I mean, they bat once, maybe twice, and then they have these reserves coming in. I mean, you're basically flipping a coin, in my opinion.
It It was pretty cool to see the all Atlanta Braves infield at one point, though.
Yeah, and the Rangers had 6 starters.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Crazy, man.
I think yesterday was the first time that there was someone with the same name that hit the home run in the game with Diaz, and that was the first time someone pitched on their birthday in the All Star game with Justin Steele.
Second time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yandy and then Elias Diaz. First time two guys the same last name.
I hated to see my boy Mitch Keller come in there in the second inning, give up that solo shot, but I was on the AL money line, so
you didn't even make out with it, though, so it makes it even worse.
It was just lose.
Yeah,
but I had the under, so I was okay. I ended up live betting under 5.5. I didn't have the initial under,
and it still hit.
Yeah, that's why I was sweating.
You're like, if they tie this up, I'm literally.
I remember telling Mackie, I was like, if this goes 3-3 and the NL ends up winning 4-3, I'm fucked.
That's why you said last night, oh, this is gonna go to extras, isn't it?
Yeah. Because and then I remembered the All-Star Game extra innings. It's not extra innings. It's a swing off. It's a 3-pitch swing off for home run. So it would have been fucking run, like a free over. It would have been. It would have been like if goals in the shootout count for the over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Imagine that. All right, boys, that's lots of good stuff there out of the MLB. That season's going to continue here well into the start of our other season, so really excited about that. Let's shift our focus over to the NHL. First point I have, Keandre Miller is staying in New York, signing a 2-year, $3.9 million average deal to stay with the Rangers. Mackie, what do you think about this one? The Rangers adding another piece.
Yeah, definitely someone that we needed to keep on. Keeping our young core there, defending the blue line. I love Keandre Miller. I feel like he goes a little under the radar. Not as much anymore, but definitely a steady defenseman that we'd like to have, him and Fox together. I know they don't play together, but having both of them in the first and second D pair is pretty lethal. I'm a big fan of this guy. And he got it pretty cheap. I mean,
blue line.
2 point what? What'd you say? It's pretty cheap for it.
2 years, just under $2 million. Like,
yeah,
I thought that too. I saw this deal. I'm like, who's his agent? He needs a new agent.
Yeah, Rangers are signing for cheap. Signed a few guys.
I guess, yeah. He's probably like, I got drafted here. This team's ready now. Let's try to, you know what I mean? I'll try to run it back with them. And then at the end of this 2-year deal, if you guys don't win a cup in the next 2 years, unless you offer him $10 million a year, he's probably walking.
Yeah, he'll make his money. He's got a lot of potential up there, and somebody's going to offer him a lot of money at the end of these 2 years. If it's not the Rangers, but I think they're trying to build something here, and he definitely wants to run it back with this team.
Yeah, that's exactly how I take it.
Good signing, though. Drury's doing a good job in this offseason. I like it.
Good stuff there, boys. Let's shoot over to the Red Wings. Alex DeBrincat signed a 4-year, $31.5 million deal with the Red Wings. DeBrincat comes from the Ottawa Senators, but brings a lot of talent to the Red Wings roster that is on the up and up. I think the Red Wings are going to sneak into a playoff spot with this addition coming into this season. What are you thinking, Huff? Red Wings guy? What do we think?
I really like this move for them. They get a true goal scorer to slide into that top set of forwards. A guy that's had, I feel like I remember DeBrincat in Chicago. What do you have, 35 plus, 40 goals, or right around there? He was lighting the lamp, it seemed like, every night in Chicago. And you get a guy like that to a young team in Detroit, put him up there with a Dylan Larkin maybe. I don't know exactly what their lines are looking like right now in Detroit, but I really like this move for them. Get a guy in there to maybe score 30-plus goals on the year. Also some young legs, and you get him at a good price. 4 years, $7.5 million average. So I really like that deal for Detroit.
Yeah, I like that deal as well, and I think he's going to fit in well with that high-flying offense. So it kind of pays dividends to have a lot of cap space and be a bad team because they bring in JT Compher and Alex DeBrincat now. 2 great players that are going to have immediate impacts on this team, but I can't wait to watch him on the power play with Larkin. He's just going to cook and be the focal point of it. Maybe see him put up 40-plus. I agree with you, Huff. So I don't think this projects them to get into the playoffs. Still a lot of questions in the net and on the back end and that depth. But I do think it'll make them a much more exciting team and put them almost in the conversation with the Buffalo Sabres.
I was gonna say that kind of signing is what puts you look at a schedule like, I don't know exactly how many 1-goal games they had last year, but like when you add a guy like you said, a Compher and a DeBrincat, I'm not saying you're adding a McDavid or a McKinnon, but you add depth players like that. When you have a 2-1 game or a 2-1 loss to a San Jose or a team that's not that bad on your home ice. I like to think guys like this will turn some of those losses into at least overtime losses or a win.
Yeah, this will be a fun team to watch for sure coming into the season.
Yeah, lots of good moves and extensions here. Another one, the Los Angeles Kings extend Anze Kopitar, 2-year, $14 million for that extension.
Guy's just living the dream out there in LA, making fucking all this money, playing for the Kings.
Really
he
is.
won his cups. He's just staying there at this point.
I'm surprised he's getting $7 million though. That's such a
that's so
backbreaker
much
in my
money for him.
opinion. That's a backbreaker in my opinion for the Kings, especially for a team that is kind of right there in the Western Conference, and they're putting all the bricks together, they're building it up, and then you go and spend $7 million a year on Anze Kopitar. It's like I mean, it's still really
it's
good.
More of like a respect thing. Like you've been here for
I think it's
two cups. We're not going to give you less than $7 million a year.
Most hockey teams, though, most hockey guys take a little pay cut in the tail end of their career to make sure they can get another chance at a ring. But I guess 2 is enough for him.
He's in LA. You got to pay those fucking taxes. He needs that $7 million.
He wants to be set for. He wants to be set for a while, man.
At his skill rate, I guess $7 million is still good. I would just expect a hometown guy of that long to be able to come in at maybe around 5.5.
I thought the same thing, Ace. I was like, is he trying to rob them? This has to be his. How old is he? I feel like this has to be a last deal, maybe.
Probably
it's gotta be a last deal.
Yeah, but that's a good team. They've been making good moves throughout the offseason. They were on a good season last year, so I think that LA team still has a lot of juice in them.
Good young core over there.
Yeah, that's his last deal of his career, in my opinion.
All right, next point here. 2-time Stanley Cup champion Patrick Hornqvist has announced his retirement from the NHL. So congrats to him on a great career. He got both key.
He got both his cups in Pittsburgh, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, he came from the Predators. Then we beat the Predators in the finals there. Him scoring that game-winning goal there in that final game. So just electric every time he'd play for the Penguins. He was always a hard worker. He's a good voice.
He was a son of a bitch to play against. He had to be
part of the HBK line.
So pesky.
No. Hagelin. It was Hagelin, Bonino, Kessel.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Hagelin or Hornqvist. I'm like, I know they're both on the team.
Hornqvist was always with Sid.
Yeah, he could put the puck in the net. He was a sniper, and he had some power forward size to him.
And he'd go to
the little guy.
I was gonna say he'd sit in front of the net. He was
like,
really
solid though, right?
Yeah,
like he played aggressive hockey.
Very.
That's why I said I feel like he had to be the kind of guy you don't look forward to play against because pesky in front of the net, like Mackie, goalies getting up in the fucking crease and shit, pissing him off. He was just that kind of dude, and he was never known as like the tough guy. You know what I mean? But he was always there, always in the hard to get areas, always where you want to be to score goals and in front of the net. But yeah, 2 cups in Pittsburgh. He was definitely a great player while he was here.
Where did he finish off at?
Florida.
Oh, that's right. Good for him. Hopefully he retires in Florida, stays in Florida, or goes back to...
I think he's from Sweden.
Yeah, I was going to say Swedish.
Gotta be a Swede.
Yeah. Good for him. Great for him.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, and that last name, I'm going to go with Sweden.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Next point I have here, the Canucks ink Niles Hoglander to a 2-year, $2.5 million deal. I hope I said that name right, but little addition there on the... He's a defenseman, right?
Where was he last year? I'm blanking.
He was in Vancouver.
Okay, I thought so.
Oh no,
so
he's
he
a winner.
just re-signed there 2 years. Okay. Canucks. I've made my statement about the Canucks. I don't really watch too many Canucks games. They're always in that Western time zone, and when I'm watching Western games, I usually stay up to watch McDusty or McKinnon.
Yeah, not the Sedin sisters. Ever since they left, they've been an irrelevant franchise. But Quinn Hughes, they have some other good players on that team too. So you see them sometimes late night getting beat up.
I do like Pedersen. I like Pedersen.
Yeah. They have some guys that have skill. But...
It is Pedersen.
Yeah, it's Pedersen. Elias Pedersen.
Yeah.
Which Elias Pedersen is the question, though? I think there's 2 of them in the NHL.
I was going to say, I think there is 2 of them. Because the Penguins just had Marcus Pederman, whatever.
Pedersen.
Pedersen.
Nathan Peterman?
Too many names. Nathan Peterman.
That guy's awful.
Quarterback turned third stringer. He was great at Pitt.
Yeah, are we talking Carolina Panthers or Florida Panthers now? Lots of good stuff, boys. To keep rolling in the NHL, the Sharks add forward Philip Zadina from the Red Wings, signing him to a 1-year, $1.1 million deal. Another little ad there. talking about the Red Wings again. Any comments on that one?
I got nothing on that.
Good. And
Other than
going
he's
back,
the dude, that's the dude that hit the gritty whenever I was at the Penguins Red Wings game last year and the Red
Ugh.
Wings won in
Ugh.
overtime and he hit the gritty. It was kind of sick.
That lives rent free in Jesse's mind.
Jesse had front row tickets to that.
Yeah, we're in the second row.
Right,
It was right in front of us.
That's like the first.
Yeah,
it's ugly too on ice, but
Jesse's probably in the background like this.
Good thing they inked that guy in the net to a few more years, huh?
Yeah, sure. Let's shift our focus back up to Canada. The Canadians add forward Alex Newhook from the Colorado Avalanche, signing him to a 4-year, $11.6 million deal.
That Canadians team they'll be better than they were last year.
I like this move for them. Newhook was a pretty solid player up in Colorado, and that's a team-friendly deal in my opinion for the Canadians. You get him at 4 years, just under $12 million. I really like that move. Like you said, they're not the best team, but they have the pieces in place: Suzuki, Josh Anderson, and obviously Cole Caulfield. So
Caulfield's got to get going. He's the key to that team. Once he gets his stride underneath him, I think they'll be good to go for years to come.
I really like that top three they have of Suzuki, Caulfield, and Anderson. I thought Suzuki was a really good player when he came in the league, and obviously, like Mackie said, we're just kind of waiting on Cole Caulfield to hit that stride.
Yeah, I think honestly, with a full year under his belt now, like full offseason with Marty St. Louis at the helm, I think they're going to be a better team. Still in a very slaughterhouse division though, so don't expect too much.
Couple more things here in the NHL. We talked about this last week. Milan Lucic back to Boston. He will wear number 17 for the Bruins, so dust off those old unis, whip them out.
Don't worry, I already did.
Ready to go.
I already did.
Yeah, I know you did.
I'm not happy that he's going to be on the ice for us, but I'm definitely going to support him. Love the guy, got his cup, got the jersey, and he'll probably fight people. Get that Milan Lucic fight club ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to what I said about your Patriots earlier, Ace. He was always my guy on the Bruins. I always liked him.
Yeah, because he's like stereotypical hockey player. He puts pucks on the second line and then he fucking kicks people's asses, hits people through the glass. I mean, iconic.
That's like how I always tried to play it. I was like, if I could just be this dude, the big motherfucker that just hits people, sits in front of the net, tips a couple pucks, rips a couple.
Yeah.
Everyone loves you.
Yeah, big
He
hit.
doesn't wear a visor, does he?
No.
Yeah, he's got to be one. I think there's like 7 left. He's got to be one of them.
Yeah, he'll be on limited minutes in the Beantown this time around, but happy to have him back. Saw the video of him and Pasta interacting the first time since he came back, so maybe they'll bring back the good juju.
Was Pasta on
and
the team?
Bergeron and Krejci. Yeah, Pasta's a rookie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Alrighty, last point here. Lots of chat about Erik Karlsson and his next landing spot. Penguins and the Hurricanes seem to be very interested in him from what I see. Rob Rossi from The Athletic said the Penguins are confident that Pittsburgh is the most realistic spot for the D-man Erik Karlsson. I believe that was something he heard from the front office there. So curious to hear what you guys think. Do you think Erik Karlsson's, obviously we know he's trying to move on here from San Jose. Where do you see him ending up?
Yeah, we talked about this a lot in the group chat today. You go
ahead, Max. Go ahead.
It's your team.
I was going to say, I would like to see him in a Penguin uniform. I don't want to see us give up too much. Obviously, the Sharks are in a rebuild mode, so they're just looking for picks and a lot of young players, which two things the Penguins don't really have in their system right now, looking to win in this year, next year, basically in this Crosby, Malkin, Letang era. And you bring a guy like Erik Karlsson in to solidify that blue line, you'd have a true top 4. We brought in Graves. I really like that signing from the Devils. I think you bring in a veteran like Erik Karlsson to help run the power play. This would be huge. But like I said, I think the asking price is the key thing. I don't want to give up too much. And we really don't have many draft picks left to give up. We're kind of like the LA Rams. We just said, fuck all of our draft picks for the next couple of years. So I don't really know what we have to give up for him. But there was rumors that San Jose is going to pay 50% of his salary. That obviously entices things, but that drives up the asking price for what you got to send back to San Jose. So my thing is just don't want to give up too much or any of the young pieces that we do have for a 33, 34-year-old defenseman. But anytime you get a guy like that who had 100 points last year coming off a Norris Trophy, you're going to take him.
Yeah, Huff, we were talking about this earlier today, honestly, and I was saying it'd be a good replacement for Letang after you were like, oh, a replacement for Letang? Not necessarily right away, but he can fill that
I truly
void.
thought
But
I said that and like confused. I truly thought you thought Letang retired.
no, and this isn't my take. I read this somewhere, a few subtweets reading through, and I was like, that's honestly a good take. I kind of agree with that. I think he'd fit well. Think about if you sign him, you could get him for like a 3 to 5 year deal, I'd assume. Just think of him 3 years from now leading that defensive core, playing basically the same exact style as Chris Letang.
Yeah.
And imagine you have the both of them next year, going into next year. I mean, you guys are looking at another cup to run the way you built your roster this offseason. You added Smith, you added Jerry right back. There's no big changes really coming. So you might as well roll the dice and get that big fish. See if you can make waves.
Yeah, that would definitely be Dubas. I've liked all the moves that Dubas has made since he's got here, and like I said, I just don't want the asking price to be too much. But like you said, when you're getting a defenseman that's 100 points off of Norris, like I'll take my chances, I guess.
Yeah, why not? You're all in on Crosby already. You might as well keep rolling.
Yeah, I gotta get number 4.
Yeah, so make sure you what's that, Huff?
I said, or we could just do another back-to-back, get him one for the pinky and thumb.
Yes, very curious as we get closer to this NHL season where Carlson may end up. If he becomes Pittsburgh Penguin, that'd be great for us. Lots to look forward to as this season is quickly approaching.
I would get an Eric Carlson Penguins jersey, just so we all know.
That would be
No, that's a T-shirt jersey, I think.
I think I'd get the jersey. I loved him when he was in Ottawa. I have so many Penguin jerseys that are like all my Penguin jerseys are Crosby and Malkin. So like I have none of those.
What do you think
jerseys where
the
I've bought
term
them
and
for
price
random
would be,
player.
though?
I'm telling you, the Penguins are only doing it if San Jose pays half his salary. He makes like $7 million a year.
And how many years does he have left?
I think 3.
Okay, not terrible.
Alrighty, boys. Let's shift over to the NBA. First point I have here: the Indiana Pacers have reached out to the Toronto Raptors regarding a Pascal Siakam trade. Siakam.
We all 3 just said it differently.
Pascal Siakam.
That's how I hear
Yeah,
him.
that's good. Yeah.
Regarding a Pascal
There's
Siakam
so many
trade.
ways to say it, yeah.
Jeez. What do you guys think about this one?
I'm surprised they want to deal him, but they just want to clean house up in Toronto, huh? Like he's one of the top players in the NBA.
Yeah, definitely overlooked because he's in Toronto right now. But NBA champion, obviously a lot to do with Kawhi Leonard, but he's definitely a baller. Right? Siakam will be a good piece wherever he goes. I think going to Indiana isn't really going to do much. They're not making much noise this year. Maybe a playoff team, but that's about it.
I think that shoots them up, Mackie, pretty well, honestly. I'm not high on Indiana at all, but we talked about them last week. I mean, they keep adding. You add Siakam with Halliburton, a few of the other guys, Bruce Brown off the bench. I mean,
I think if you add Siakam, the Pacers go from
like 10 to 7.
No, maybe missing the bubble to like back end of the bubble to like the front end of the bubble, or maybe right outside, maybe like 60.
So if they get Siakam, they can be 6 through 8, and if they don't, they can be 8 through 11.
9 through 11.
So that's a big movement.
Yeah, definitely, and he's a good player. But I mean, you're not taking
He's young.
You're still not taking the Pacers over. I would even say the Knicks.
No, I don't think so either. But he's young, and he'd get you into that conversation that we could at least give up a fight in a series.
Yeah, definitely, and build around him.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well get him at Toronto, though. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Surprised they've blown it up the way they have.
Yeah, they got their ring, and then just once Kawhi left, everybody just clear house.
Literally, they got their ring, and they're they got their ring, and they're
leaving up there
because Canada can't support their basketball team. Too busy
Drake
watching.
cut off all the funds.
Yeah, too busy watching the Leafs lose.
Alrighty, next point here. Pistons sign Isaiah Stewart to a 4-year, $64 million extension there. Stewart staying with the Pistons. Next up, the Spurs signed Popovich to a 5-year deal worth over $80 million. So it looks like Popovich is staying around for Wembanyama's early years as he's getting drafted by the Spurs this year.
That's huge for the development.
Yeah, it's nice to see probably the best NBA coach of all time sticking around for best prospects since LeBron. So, if there's anyone to develop Wembanyama, it should be Popovich.
Agreed. He can transform the game so well, and we saw what he did with Duncan and some of the other big names, Kawhi. So he knows how to teach that position and get the fundamentals down. Something that this guy could definitely use.
What he needs.
I have a hot take. I've never been a fan of Popovich. I think he's kind of overrated.
I think you put him in the same field as Belichick.
Because of his teams?
Yeah, I mean, you could say Brady carried Belichick. You could say Tim Duncan carried Popovich. I mean, it's the same concept. Because once both of them left, both of them have a losing record since their star players left.
Yeah, I see the comparison. I don't know. I think
it's like the same exact thing. I mean, Tim Duncan, arguably top 5 player of all time, and you have Tom Brady, probably the best football player of all time. 2 elite coaches. They were probably elite because of these players, in my opinion. But you can't take it away.
I think they're together great. I think it's not one because of the other. I think on their own they're still really good. I think Popovich, one of the best coaches of all time. Maybe a little outdated for the game nowadays, but I think he definitely.
That's what I'm saying. I think I almost was like, I feel like I don't know if he's the best guy for Wembanyama, 19 or 18-year-old. Like, I don't know, but
the style that guy's gonna play, Wembanyama, Popovich can teach that.
I agree.
It's not like he's a 3-point shooter.
He's not coming in to play the game like the NBA is nowadays. He's coming in to play a fundamental game where you could just use your size and ability to just overpower these guys. And that's the type of game that Popovich will teach.
I'm interested to see how this goes. 5 years, though, you're there for the whole Wembanyama development. So it's really going to be his is he a good coach? Can he develop this guy? Is this guy a bust? Let's see.
I've always been more of a Spoelstra guy myself.
Yeah, he's a team builder versus... I think Popovich is great for development.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, let's stay on the Wembanyama train. He will be shut down after just 2 Summer League games. Struggled in his debut, going 2 for 13 from the field, then turned around and dropped 27 points in his second Summer League game. What you guys kind of already commented on the Spurs a little bit, but what do you think about the first overall pick?
I think it was
struggled in that first game. Go ahead, Mackie.
I think it was a bit of an overreaction in the first game. Obviously, you got to get the nerves out. He's 18 years old, or what is he, 19 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
Coming into the league, 19 years old. He's from France, and now he's one of the most popular people in America. So you're coming over here, you're getting the publicity and everything, and you come into the game. It's a lot riding on your shoulders. So I think there was a little overreaction in that first game where he went 2 for 13. He's finding his stride. He's playing basketball a little better. He put up 27 points. Obviously, you're playing freshmen and sophomores, but he's proving that he has the ability to do what everyone has heard that he can do. So I don't want to jump the gun on him at all. I don't like to talk about prospects being the next big thing before they've done anything, but I like his
good stuff there. Yeah, we very excited to see how he does coming into this season. So definitely want to cover more on him and what he might do. The next one I have, the Atlanta Hawks extend DeJounte Murray to a 4-year, $120 million deal. Not too bad.
I think he's a good piece. A guy that gets buckets on that Hawks team. They need that so badly. I mean, they moved on from John Collins. They brought him in from San Antonio just a year ago. So expected, in my opinion, and he'll continue to have success down there.
That was only a year ago?
Yeah, that was his first full season. Maybe like a year and a half at the deadline, but I think that was his first full season with the Hawks.
Yeah, maybe him and Trey can get something going here.
Alrighty, and my final point out of the NBA in-season tournament will begin on November 3rd. All 30 teams will compete for the NBA Cup, with 8 teams advancing into the knockout rounds. Tournament semifinals and championship games will be held in Las Vegas on December 7th and 9th. So, very interesting little addition the NBA is adding here. You guys got any comments on that?
So weird, the timing and everything.
Stupid.
Hoff, you were against this too, huh?
It does count towards the NBA season, which I didn't really know, but I didn't really know the whole concept of it at first. I thought it was like a All Star Break kind of thing. But
do you think it's just to get viewership up in the early part of the season?
Yeah, it's just adding something. It's adding in something that doesn't need to be added. It's just making these games seem more important than what
Important
they
than they are.
actually are.
But then in the news, you see, look who won the NBA Cup, because when it's November and basketball's on, we don't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
It's
you're going to see the
NFL season,
Clippers.
though.
You're going to see the Clippers in
not
the finals,
kidding.
and Kawhi's going to sit out.
I'm not kidding. Someone said it was called the NBA Cup, I thought someone was just like calling it that until it got its real name. I didn't know they were actually rolling with
Like
the
the
NBA
terrible
Cup.
name.
It's like the
Yeah,
Washington football team.
And yeah, this is literally for people like us that say the NBA season doesn't start till Christmas.
I have a good point here, though. So eventually, when this NBA Cup is around for a few years, if it sticks around, who do you think is going to get the naming rights for the MVP trophy? Who's going to be the NBA Cup MVP? It's going to be like the Russell Westbrook NBA Cup MVP.
Yeah, I feel like it
trophy.
can't be a prolific player.
No, it's got to be someone that's like really good at the beginning of the year and then falls off, or just someone like strange that goes off the first one. The Dougie McDermott NBA Cup MVP.
Dougie McDermott.
Something random like that.
Buckets.
I'm
Maybe
trying
Chris
to
Paul,
think,
because he can't win anything else.
just whoever has the best performance in the first NBA Cup, they just name the trophy after them. It could be like the DeJounte Murray trophy.
Dude, you can give
Yeah,
it to like
just-
Obi Toppin. I don't really think anybody gives a fuck.
No one cares anyway.
Exactly.
If it's on a Sunday, I'll be watching football.
There's no shot I'm watching the NBA Cup over at the NFL.
No, but I'll watch the NBA Cup
No
and
one
it's
is.
on a Tuesday night.
What if your Bruins are playing?
Nope.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Bruins could be playing like the fucking Arizona Coyotes. You'd be like, yeah, I got Bruins -1.5, team total over 3.5. I gotta watch these. I can't watch the NBA Cup.
Lots and lots of good stuff, boys. The NBA also fast approaching, just like the NHL, starting right there mid-October, those regular seasons starting. So super excited for all this stuff to get rolling. Just a couple months away. Got a couple points here in the UFC. UFC champion Israel Adesanya posted a photo of Mark Zuckerberg, Alexander Volkanovski, and himself training in the gym. Is there a chance that we see this highly anticipated Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk boxing match? I don't know.
I would love it. I think most people would.
I think it'd be great.
I'll tell you
I
what,
think you'll
Zuck
get
looks
more
pretty-
viewers than the Paul brothers.
Zuck looks pretty jacked, dude. You see
I was
his
gonna
picture
say,
with
when-
Adesanya?
Dude, when people were talking about when this first happened, everyone was like, Elon Musk opens up at a -600 favorite. And I'm like, I saw that picture of Zuckerberg. I'm like, originally, I'm like, I feel like he's the more athletic of the two. Like, I feel like it's just like a chubby old dude versus like a young kind of athletic geek. I was like, give me the little guy here to come out on top. And then I see this picture of him jacked with Adesanya. I'm like, yeah, I'll take him.
But how fresh is that though? You just Mark Zuckerberg, like just being like a billionaire, whatever, influential guy, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, now I get to train with Israel Adesanya and Volkanovski and post up with
It's
them
like-
like I'm some goon.
It's like, hey, Threads is doing great. What do I want to do today? I'm gonna go work out with Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, it's like, and that's pretty cool. They both took him under his wing. Like, I wonder who Elon.
Yeah, they they both were like, this is cool shit.
Yeah, definitely. They're like, yeah, we'll train you. You kidding?
They have him on like just literally like a punching bag for like 30 seconds.
Hopefully he
They're like,
doesn't
"You're
fight
good."
like Izzy though. Hopefully he doesn't fight like Izzy.
He's
Boring.
not 6'5", and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You can't kick like that. What if he just starts kicking like Adesanya, like out of nowhere?
Imagine. That'll be fun though. I hope that comes to fruition.
Yeah, so be ready for some UFC updates in the coming weeks as the summer premiere cards heats up. Lots of good stuff to uncover in the UFC world. As we're going to try to dive deeper into that. Tonight is the 2023 ESPYs. So lots of big names in sports being recognized across the board. Do you guys know of anybody that's in the running for any of the good ones? I don't even know any of the good ESPYs.
Some of the awards they hand out anymore, it's like best team. Half the time, it's not even a sports team. I feel like sometimes I know it's
True.
the ESPYs, but like they've found some ways to squeak some people to get these awards in here. But the only reason I put this in, the only reason I'll be tuning in is because Pat McAfee will have a mic and will be talking. He will be a part-time host.
That'll be pretty cool. I'm excited for that too. That'll be great.
Yeah, they said he's going to do a couple interviews, and then I don't know who the
Nice.
actual host is, but I never really tune into the ESPYs. It's more of I'll catch all the awards of who
It's
won
not
'em.
one of the ones where they do like they send people up there to read the names, and then different people read the next names.
I don't know. He just
Like
said
the
he's going to
Grammys.
he just said he's walking around with a microphone. That's all he said on his show.
That's cool. I mean, that's what he should be doing.
Yeah, it's he's basically doing what he did at the national championship game, where he just walked around the sideline with a microphone and
Yeah.
just interviewed whoever he wanted. I think he's literally going to be walking around the crowd, and like if he sees people, it's like, "Hey, Patrick Mahomes," like you know what I mean. They all know who he is, so they're going to talk to him.
Right. Heck yeah. Alrighty, the final point I have here. Team USA has moved on to the Gold Cup semifinals to face Panama after they survived via penalty kicks versus Canada in the quarterfinals. So Team USA men's soccer just trucking along in that Gold Cup.
I feel
Ace,
like
you have any comment on this?
I feel like they should have handled Canada a bit more after a strong showing early on. I mean, I know it's the quarterfinals, but 2-2 eking it out late, and then now they got to play Panama. I mean, not a big opponent again, but they should be handling these teams and then easily get into the finals. So hopefully they can get it done.
And that's talking soccer with Hit the Books.
Yeah, that's about all I got there.
America.
I got nothing to add there.
Pretty good episode here, boys. Episode 46 complete. You guys got anything else to add?
It's going to do it for me. As usual, thanks for listening. Give us a follow on all the platforms. Like, follow, share, subscribe. The whole 9 yards goes a long way. Like, rating, review, whatever you can do. The whole, shebang. Love everything you guys do. Show all the support. We appreciate it. Week in and week out. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Second half of the MLB card starts this Friday, so we'll get to those numbers going up again. Definitely check out our plays.